And the killings continue. Jimmy Mathis, what can be done?
There's also frustration with the Baltimore City Police Department, and hasn't changed with Kevin Davis. The officers call it a soft strike, call it blue flu. They are looking for leadership that has their back.
Speak.
The stand down order was from the mayor when she said we're going to give them room to destroy.
Yes.
And that's what they did. There's no question that the mayor's office was not in
before they destroy.
Well, John, when the city's burning to the ground, that's them giving them room to destroy. Okay, you had the police standing by while you had people lighting fires. It was on the front page of the Baltimore Sun.
Kenny, piece of hardline conservative opposition. Your reaction, Jimmy Mathis?
Well, he's talking about hardline conservative opposition. He came into power back in 2010. It's been a wasted 5 years. It'll be interesting to see who the president has to whip his votes now.
O'Malley is doing, I'm not saying I'd bet the farm on it, O'Malley is doing exactly what Jimmy Carter did back in 1976 with the time that he's spending in Iowa, in New Hampshire. Here in his time in the state of Maryland, he has checked off every liberal box there.
And, you know, if it's not for John Boehner and Mitch McConnell, the popularity of Donald Trump probably doesn't exist. But it's true. And, you know, you look at the base, there's been frustration with leadership for a long time now. And as long as we're under the leadership of Boehner, of McConnell, I think the Republicans are going to have a very difficult time winning the White House in 2016.
Jimmy.
Okay, first of all, without the Affordable Care Act, the Republicans don't take the House back in 2010 by 63 votes. It was on that one issue and that one issue alone, which is how Boehner becomes Speaker to begin with.
Which has been working.
No, it hasn't been working. It has driven tens of millions of people onto the public doles. Second of all, without Mitch McConnell running on one issue and one issue only, which is the repealing, not replacing Obamacare, he's not leading the upper chamber of Congress. I don't know.
Jim, let me ask you, why are they taking those
Ted.
positions? It's because of the crowd they've got controlling their caucus.
Really?
It's very critical.
You talk about passing a budget. Okay, the founders gave Congress, the House specifically, the power of the purse as some sort of checks and balances. End of last year, you have a Congress again saying, listen, we need to kick this can past New Year's
guys.
with a continuing resolution. We'll deal with it from a budgetary standpoint in the next year. They don't do it.
And the way you ought to talk in
Thank
American
you for not
society.
politicizing.
From the Pope to the GOP. G-O-Pope, is that what it stands for? Go ahead.
The grand old Pope.
It is clear the Pope does love.
Jim, what have you been reading?
I'm not telling you what I'm reading. I'm talking about what I know about Hillary Clinton. She's not that liberal. She is a New York, big money, Wall Street loving kind of gal. She is not a liberal at all. And that is why I thought from the very beginning that Elizabeth Warren would have way more support of the party than Hillary Clinton. The question right now is, what should America's role on the world stage be?
What should it be?
And we need to have an honest discussion about that. But right now you look at Egypt, which used to be our largest Arab ally, has turned their backs on us. Right now they are seeking help from Russia. You look at the vacuum.
Because we've turned our back on them.
This is going back to the George Bush administration. This is not a partisan issue. You look at the vacuums that we have created around the world. You look at the vacuum in Libya, the vacuum in Egypt, what's going on with Bashar al-Assad in Syria. You look at Putin reconstructing the former Soviet Union.
I agree. Fellow immigrants, and that's who we all are.
Yeah, well, the whole "we're a nation of immigrants" thing, okay? You know, first of all, we have had periods of immigration in the past. We also shut the spigot off afterwards. And never once was there such a flood of one nation within a concentrated amount of time without any opportunity for assimilation. So it's easy for the Pope to stand up there and throw off a couple words without operating in any sort of realm of reality. Look, right now you have Chris Van Hollen as sort of the heir apparent to that seat, but I agree. I think this is an opportunity for Congresswoman Edwards to come in. It would be a woman that would replace Senator McCoskey and also an African American. You know, Ted, you bring up Donald Trump and his four bankruptcies. All right, I wish he would talk more about those, because one of his bankruptcies that he declared were with the properties in Atlantic City back in 2005, which I think most people would probably say, gee, that was a pretty good business idea when you have 6 casinos that shut down this year alone.
And the Revel was a good idea.
Absolutely. Okay, when the environment changes and the business model changes, and you have the Revel Hotel that they spent $1.5 billion to construct, that it took more time to build than it was open. It was probably good for Trump to get out of the gambling business in Atlantic City.
Jimmy Mathis, what do you have to say? You have 10 seconds.
I normally would not have given him my vote, but after hearing how you want to strip Article 1 of the Constitution, you have my vote.
You told me on
The administration will not acknowledge who the real enemy is. Last week, when the attacks were going on in Paris, there were also 2,000 Nigerians that were murdered by Boko Haram. This is a terrorist organization going back when Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State. Congressmen, senators on both sides of the aisle were pleading with the Obama administration to officially put Boko Haram on a terrorist watch list. We refused to do it. We refused to do it. Then you had the kidnapping of 200 schoolgirls. Now you have the slaughter of thousands of innocent Nigerians, and it's getting little to no coverage. In Baltimore City, problems are plentiful. Solutions are scarce.
You know, if you're going to be a part of the problem or part of the solution. And I saw the part of the problem. I wanted to be a part of the solution.
For both residents and business owners, the goal is survival. When it comes to finding a solution, Troy Stanton of New Beginnings has an invested interest.
Well, I've been a barber since the age of 13. And being a barber, barbering came naturally to me.
At the New Beginnings Barbershop in the Hollands Market, you can catch up on the latest gossip, give your opinion,
They win. Yeah, he right there.
and by the way, also get your hair cut. It's here that Troy has been able to mix his professional life with his personal passion for art.
So I wanted to bring the art to the community. I believe the art shouldn't be hoarded. It should be shared, it should be exposed. And what I understand in this community is, though, a lot of children as individuals wouldn't get a chance to go to other institutions as museums or galleries.
For the community of East Baltimore, the gallery is the walls of Troy's barbershop.
It's a place that the community can come and present themselves. I think it's a place that people can come and be vulnerable. People have come in and say, I don't know anything about art. Can you express, can you give me some idea? And when they leave, I think they feel a sense of oneness to this place.
And you would be surprised at how many children and their parents are unaware of the creative process.
Troy quickly developed affiliations with nationally known artists like Lou Stovall, Sam Gilling, and his current exhibition, The Gee's Bend Photographs by Leah Day Clark. It's these partnerships that give New Beginnings validation in the art community.
The Gee's Bend, it's a part of America's culture, a part of America's history. And this exhibit that's up today, this is the same exhibit that had traveled to the Walters Art, the Reginald Lewis, the Myrtle Beach Museum of Art, the Philadelphia Museum of Art, and now it's in the direct community of Southwest Baltimore.
Troy and his business associates believed the idea of transforming their barbershop into an art museum would be well received, and it was.
Oh, we didn't think this was a barbershop. You know, a bookstore, an art gallery, but not a shop.
So while New Beginnings continues to do its part in reaching out to the community, they realize it's just the start.
I think it has caught on. As Troy mentioned earlier, there are some museum artists that are shown here. There are some well-known artists that have shown here. There's some art historians that's been through here. So he has opened the door not just to the community, but it's kind of like, to me, like a Harlem Renaissance environment.
The road to rebuilding Baltimore's inner city neighborhoods will be a long one. But for Troy and the patrons of New Beginnings, they will be there every step of the way.
The sky's the limit. I really, I think that we'll just keep on until, keep adding on, keep trying to improve the community.
In East Baltimore, I'm Jimmy Mathis, News Plus.